Hello, small group leaders. This is the first video of a couple that I will be making for our small group leader training. My aim in these videos is to help equip you with tools and resources that both help clarify what the purpose of your small group is and also give you practical resources and tools to help you accomplish that mission more effectively. So before we look to our small group in particular, I want to get a chance to talk with you about what our mission here at Quinault Baptist Church is. The elders have been meeting for a long time discussing what our mission is here, and something that we had planned with talking about all of our members at our members meeting, which was unfortunately canceled due to the quarantine. I want to get a chance to share it with you now because I think it will help define what you're doing in your small group. So the mission of Quinault Baptist Church is creating a covenant community who worships Christ above all. Creating a covenant community who worships Christ above all. That's the goal we have here at this church, and that's why we want to do everything that we are doing is towards that end, including our small group. So when you think about why you gather every week, why you share a meal, why you text your small group, why you read books together, all of this is feeding into this wider mission of creating a covenant community who worships Christ above all. So we are a covenant community. We are not just a group of people who have similar interests, and so we decide to hang out with one another, but we are a group of people who have been brought into a covenant relationship with the Lord, and because we enter into a covenant relationship with one another. We have now been brought into the family of God, so we treat one another like a family. This is why we practice things like church membership, is you are taking a covenant to bind yourselves to these other people. It's a covenant community, but we're not just a covenant community of people bound together for that sake in itself, but we're a covenant community who is worshiping Christ above all, over everything else in life. And so one of the things we're trying to do in this community is to continually pitch our hearts more and more upwards to Christ in all areas of our life. And we're creating this covenant community who worships Christ above all, meaning we are in the process of growing more and more like Christ, more and more committed to one another. And we want to invite other people into this picture of what it means to be a Christian, someone who is in a covenant community worshiping Christ above all. That's the mission of our church, and that's what we're inviting you as small group leaders to participate in as you lead your small groups week in, week out. So that helps calibrate what you're doing. Our small groups aren't just fun hangout times or times where it's just good to gather together friends and have fun. That's important. Our small groups also aren't just times where we are studying and learning and trying to grow more in our knowledge, whether that be through reading the Bible or reading books, though those are important. And our small groups aren't just evangelistic endeavors where we're just trying to engage non-Christians and have them over into our home, though that's really important. What we're trying to do in our small groups is this is one avenue by which we are inviting people into a covenant community who worships Christ above all. So we're inviting them into something much bigger than just what our small group is. We're inviting them into our whole church, and this whole church is on a pathway to submit to the authority and rule of Christ in every area of our lives. So that's the aim of our small groups. We're inviting people into this big, grand vision of walking the Christian life arm in arm with other church members as we submit to Christ.